What's good, y'all? This is a video about how I went from average, undisciplined, and lost to having more discipline, more structure, and being in control. This is my journey, my hero story. Now, I'm making this video because most people on social media, they always show their wins, they show their rewards, their glitz and their glamour, and you don't really get to see people's come up stories. You only recognize them for their accomplishments. And I'm making this video because I want y'all to know that I've been in the same exact position that you're in right now watching this video. You feel like you're not making the money that you need to be making. You feel like your life is out of control. You're in chaos. You're inconsistent. You're lacking that something. You know that you're capable, but you're inconsistent. I know exactly how you feel, bro. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop in right into it. So this is one of the really the lowest points of my life, bro. Like, this is the heaviest I've ever been. I was overweight, out of shape. I had no structure in my life, no direction. I was just living in comfort instead of purpose. To where I'm at right now is way more structure, way more discipline, and way more control over my life. I lost 50 plus pounds. I became the man that I needed to be, not only just for myself, but for my family as well. Now, growing up, this picture right here, I'm about maybe 14, 15 years old. Growing up, I didn't have a father in my life. His life was unfortunately taken due to gun violence when I was around maybe 10 months old. My mom, she told me that I was literally just starting to walk when my father's life was taken. So, for that unfortunate event, I didn't grow up with any male guidance in my life. I had to learn a lot of shit the hard way. And what I learned is, you work hard, but it's just enough to survive. Because, I was single mom. She had me and then my younger brother. And, she was working as hard as she could to make ends meet. And I didn't put it on here, but we ended up being homeless at one point. Didn't have anywhere to live. We was in Charlotte and we were in a homeless shelter. Can't remember for exactly how long, but that was really one of the key low moments in my life, bro. And it always just taught me that you're working hard, but you're just working hard enough to survive. Good enough is basically the standard. That was how I looked at everything. No one really pushed me to be anything greater. I knew no one in college, no one had their own businesses, nobody was in shape. Like, that was just my reality. So that's what I became. I had no direction, no discipline, just doing good enough. Going through high school, grades wasn't amazing. Like, I think I graduated with maybe a 2.8. It was good. I mean, it's not bad, and it's not amazing. It's just good enough. It's always like I just was always at that baseline, that average baseline, right? And this was basically the theme for years and years and years of my whole life. And then after high school, ended up moving out. I had me a little job working at a restaurant. Me and my roommates. I moved in with my roommates. We were all working at the same place. I didn't have a car. I was taking Ubers, taking buses to work, like, and making maybe $14, $13 an hour. That was just good enough. You see what I'm getting at? That's the theme of my whole life. Just good enough. It was just good enough to make rent, to help out my roommates with rent, and it was just good enough to afford the other things that I needed and that I wanted, right? Like weed or whatever it was, right? And I didn't have any real goals. Like, at the time, I was really into music and I was just making music. I was going to the studio, but it didn't really lead to anywhere because why? I was inconsistent with it, didn't take it seriously. It was just a hobby, bro. And the reality of the whole situation was I was spending my days drinking, smoking, had a bad diet, I had no structure, basically wasting my time. Like, bro, now that me reflecting and thinking back at that time, me waking up, I didn't have nothing on my agenda but go to work, play video games, smoke. That's what I knew I was doing around that time. And yeah, I was, dealing with women here and there, right? But Those were the main things I was doing. That was what my life consisted of on a day-to-day basis. It was basically a loop. No type of growth, no type of direction whatsoever, no structure at all. And the truth was, it looked normal because all of my friends were doing it. All of my roommates were doing it, right? We're all doing the same things. We're all going out, drinking, smoking, chasing women. We're going to work at this job that was basically slaving us away, bro, like in the kitchen. Like, and it felt normal, right? But I knew that I wanted more deep down. I knew that I was capable of more because, like I told you, I was doing the music shit and I was really good at it. And I knew that I had the potential, but I just never capitalized on it because I just was doing good enough. And I was like, you know what? Being comfortable, right? And I hated it, bro. I honestly hated where I was at in life. Now, fast forward ahead a little bit. This was the real turning point for me. So I ended up moving out of my homeboy's house, ended up meeting my current girlfriend, soon to be wife, the mother of my children. Ended up meeting her. We're living together. We had a kid together, my daughter. And that's when everything changed, bro. Everything changed because I wasn't just responsible for myself. I was responsible for a family, bro. And I knew that, okay, it's time to get serious. Me being good enough isn't good enough anymore. Why? Because I want to break that generational curse of being good enough and, settling for a job and not going to school and all this other. I want to break that and I want to aspire to be more and do better for myself because my kids is going to be a reflection of me and my woman, right? So if I'm not doing the best and I'm not being the best person that I can be, how can I expect for them to be the best that they can be? Because they're looking up at me. I'm a role model now. I can't be wasting my life away smoking weed, playing video. No, that's not who I am anymore. I have lives to take care of. This is bigger than me now, right? So I made a decision. No more excuses. I had to be better. I had to change, bro. Simple as that. I couldn't keep going down the same cycle because this is obviously not the way to get the life that I know that I'm capable of having. Otherwise, I will have it, right? So I made that decision. And this is where the identity shift happened, right? This is the key thing. This is where I shifted my identity. I built discipline and I created structure. I said, you know what? Now it's time to start operating of the mindset, embodying the guy that I want to be. Even though I'm not physically there right now, it's about embodying, okay, the best version of myself. What is he doing in this moment right now? Is he still bullshitting, smoking, drinking, chasing women, all of the eating bad food? Or is he tracking his calories? Is he showing up for his family? Is he showing up for his job? Is he making more money? Excuse me. What is that guy doing? And once I realized and figured out what that guy is and who that guy is, who I truly am to the core, I embodied that shit. And that's where everything started to change. And this is literally the proof. Picture on the left, 250 pounds, bro. This is the heaviest I've ever been. I've been on the skinny side and I've been right here. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I went from 250 to the leanest I've been. This is literally the best I've ever looked in my life. 198 and I'm still not done. I had more money, got a better paying job, right? And I'm also making income online. And this just boosted my confidence. This let me know because confidence is evidence, right? So this let me know that if I actually start taking action and capitalize on that potential that I know I have, that I know I'm capable of, then I get the results. It's that simple. You shift your identity, you build the structure, and the discipline follows, right? The lesson is here, bro, you don't lack motivation, you lack identity. That's exactly why you stay stuck. And it took me so long to realize this. It took me so long that I was operating from the guy that I didn't want to be. I'm trying to implement new things to change my life. but my life isn't changing because I'm still looking at myself as the guy that is overweight, the guy that is inconsistent, the guy that is smoking, drinking, that is showing up for his family. So you're always going to go back to baseline if you don't change your identity. That's the lesson. Now I help men do the same thing. I help men build discipline, build structure in their life, and become who they should be. Become that capable guy that is consistent. And here's screenshots of, some of the conversations with my clients, some of the conversations with guys that I've done help just throughout DMs, just through conversations. Just this is my client over here. This is my client Vince at the time. No, this was my client Shaq at the time. This is my client Vince right here. And this is one of the guys I've been talking to. His name is Caleb. And he says, bro, like, I've always loved messages like this because this is just a confirmation that I'm on the right track and that I can actually help people out. Right. So if this is you, you know you're capable of more. Look at me right now. You know you're capable of more, but you're stuck in the same cycle. This is your wake up call. It's time to stop all of the bad habits. It's time to stop all of the lack of action. And it's time to start changing your life because at the end of the day, you can want and you can try all you want to. But if you don't change who you are to the core, to being the person you want to be, then nothing is ever going to change. Nothing changes until your identity changes. Nothing changes until you change.